Well, well, well. Well, well, well. Here we go again. Drama in Dallas. Everybody is wanting the head of one Mike McCarthy. I mean, you would literally think that we're 0-6. I mean, you would think we don't have a quarterback. You would think we don't have any players. I mean, you would literally think that we're 0-6 and there's no room or nowhere or nothing to where we can salvage the season. Everyone's calling for the head of Mike McCarthy. But I got a question for us. Should we really be calling for the head of Mike McCarthy? Let's talk about it, Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Welcome, 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 Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Let's talk facts. Mike McCarthy has actually did extremely well. He hasn't done pretty good. He's done extremely well. I'm going to explain all that in just a moment. But I just want to set the tone for a moment. Because even YouTubers who are typically pretty level-headed when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys have a lot of emotional intelligence, at least I used to consider. Even they are starting to buy into the 3-letter and the 4-letter networks. Now, for me, I'm not saying that a dead clock is not right twice a day. But the one thing I'm not going to do is listen to the 3-letter and the 4-letter networks without first listening The one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to listen to them and not do my own research, look at tape, look at the past, understand the present, and see exactly what this team is. I'm not going to do that. And it's like we've already hit the panic button. And I know why we're hitting the panic button. And the reason why we've hit the panic button is the very reason why I want us to think about this question about Mike McCarthy. Should we really be talking about getting rid of Mike McCarthy? I mean, really. When we think about what he has been dealt, should we be talking about getting rid of Mike McCarthy? And I just wonder, even with Mike McCarthy, what is he feeling like? I mean, he hears what's out there. He knows what's going on. He can't help it. It's everywhere that Mike McCarthy needs to be gotten rid of. He's 3-3, and we're talking about getting rid of Mike McCarthy? I want you to listen. Just listen to what they asked Jerry Jones right after the loss to the Detroit Lions. And I know they did this on purpose because they know Jerry is a walking headline. They were trying their best to pull out of Jerry a headline, something they could use to run to the press with and say, Jerry said this about Mike McCarthy. Well, he gave him a headline, but it wasn't quite what they wanted. Let's roll it.
Climate out here right now about our team. We're going to have to work through this.
Is the head coach something that you're evaluating during this bit?
No.
Now, I don't know who that was right there, but did you catch what they did? They simply asked Jerry Jones, is the coach a consideration? Now, Jerry just calmly said no and went on to the next question. But I want you to pay attention. Somebody wants to poke the bear. They need a headline, and they want to get something from Jerry Jones about his displeasure with Mike McCarthy. Watch this question.
But I'm well aware that we're in the proverbial spur right now.
Jerry,
Okay.
what would it take you to evaluate making a head coaching change in season?
I haven't even considered that. I'm not considering that. Just so you're clear, I'm
But-
not considering that.
But you've done it
Don't
once
I
before.
wouldn't be a hypothetical in that matter. Do you think I'm an idiot? Do you? Okay, well, I'm not going to hypothetical with you about when I'd consider coaching change in light of the timing we're sitting here with. I'm not at all. Well, we're disappointed that we're 3-3. I don't blame that all on being the 3 loss side of it. I don't necessarily totally blame on McCarthy. The players will tell you they had something to do with it too, as the other part of the staff will tell you, and the owner sure will tell you he had something to do with it.
Jerry,
So it's not all on him.
Jerry, you shocked at sort of the gap.
Now, you catch what Jerry Jones did? Of all the crazy things that Jerry Jones has said, I think that was one of the smartest things he said in a long time. Jerry Jones left nothing to the imagination. He basically said, we're going to ride this out with Mike McCarthy. We're going to ride it all the way out. And even when you think about, the guy tried to bring up a situation when Jerry let go of a coach. I forgot who it was. I forgot the name of the coach, but he let him go. But it was like they were like 1-7 or something like that. And I'll visit that on another video. I'll let Jerry Jones tell you. But at the end of the day, I want you to think about this. Mike McCarthy is 3-3. And people are asking, should his head be gone? Should we change coaches mid-season? That would be literally the dumbest thing you could ever do to this team. It's the dumbest thing you could do. And I don't even consider this team to be in disarray like a lot of people do. I don't think this team is in disarray. I just think we're not accepting the facts. This is a young football team. It doesn't have a lot of stars. Jerry Jones, when he said he was all in, Dak Prescott in the Troy Aikman interview cleared it up. Go back and look. I put it on my channel. Dak Prescott said he think what Jerry Jones meant was he was going all in on the players that he has. I'm sorry. I believe that Jerry and Dak were talking all along. And I think Jerry was sharing some things with Dak Prescott because there is no way Dak hits that on the head when everyone else was scratching their heads wondering what he was talking about. He said that Jerry was all in on the young players that he had, players who had been behind other players who hadn't got an opportunity to play. This was going to be their opportunity. The Jalen Tolberts. The Deron Bland full season. I mean, you're thinking about, you got to think about it. Jalen Brooks. Ferguson being the tight end. Rico Dowdle getting to be the number 1 running back. I hope they settle this after the Detroit game, that there is no way again that Ezekiel Elliott should be on any drives as the primary back. But Jerry is all in on the players that he has. That's who he's all in on. Demarion Overshown, who didn't get to play last year. Jerry is all in on the players that he has. And whether we like it or not, everything that we're watching is showing us. And at this point, now that Amari Cooper is gone, never thought Devontae Adams was a possibility. There's not going to be any improvement unless Jerry pulls off something at the trade deadline. There are no indicators that Jerry is going to do anything to change anything on this team. And that brings me to this. I have a strange suspicion. I know everybody has pushed Mike McCarthy out the door, but I'm not sure Jerry Jones is going to fire Mike McCarthy. I have a strange suspicion. And the reason why I have this suspicion, one, Jerry Jones understands something. He knows the position that he's put Mike McCarthy in. And I think Jerry Jones has talked to Mike McCarthy about the position that he's in. Because y'all tell me which scenario makes sense. Which scenario makes sense? I'm going to put you on the last year of your contract. And I'm going to strip you of almost all of your all-pro players you had last year. I'm not going to re-sign them, Mike. I'm not going to get you any help in the running game. I'm going to give you an almost rookie offensive line. I'm going to give you a very shaky defensive line. I'm only going to bring in rookies or guys who have already been on the team that we've already been watching, who were backing up other players. I'm not going to do anything in free agency, Mike. And oh, by the way, even no matter what we're doing by the trade deadline, I'm not going to go get you a player. And with what I just gave you, you better go out and do, if not better than what you did last 3 seasons. You better get to the Super Bowl. Does that make sense? Why would I deal you that hand and say you're on the last year of your contract? And I know he hasn't signed it, but he hasn't said he's not going to give him another one. I mean, do we not realize that Jerry Jones signed Dak Prescott the morning of the first football game, the morning of the Cleveland Browns football game? I'm telling y'all, we better brace ourselves. That scenario right there doesn't sound right. Tell me, does this one sound right? Mike McCarthy. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to strip this team down. We're going to get us some draft picks. We're going to re-sign Dak. We're going to re-sign CD. That's going to give us some cap space. We're not going to do anything with that money because we know we have to sign Micah Parsons. We also got a couple of more signings we're going to have to sign. We're definitely going to have to sign Kevontae Turpin. Jordan Lewis is on the last year of his contract. Depending upon how he plays, we're going to probably have to do something about his contract. So what we're going to do is, Mike, we're going to do kind of a soft rebuild. We're going to get some cap space, and then we're going to come back in next year's draft. We're going to get a running back. We'll get us another piece up front on the offensive line and the defensive line, because Zach Martin may be out of here too. So we're going to kind of start rebuilding in this 5th season, but we also know this is the season we're going to kind of let it go, and we're going to rebuild next year, and we're going to sign you. You tell me which scenario sounds right. Because I just got a feeling. I would not be surprised if Jerry Jones signs Mike McCarthy to a contract. Especially, I want us to understand this, all things considered. Bill Parcells with Tony Romo and better players could not do what Mike McCarthy has done. Jason Garrett, who I will say had some better players, he didn't do what Mike McCarthy has done. Do we not realize that Mike McCarthy has got this team 12 wins, 3 seasons in a row, and could have gotten 4 if Dak Prescott had not got hurt? I mean, yes, I believe that Mike McCarthy has a problem motivating men. I believe that Mike McCarthy has some issues. I believe, all I can say is in the first 6 games of last season and the first 6 games of this season, Mike McCarthy's vanilla play calling is terrible. But if I look at what he did after the bye week last year, and now I got to wait and see what he's going to do after the bye week this year, and what if he comes out and really lights it up in after the bye week this year and gets this team? People keep saying they don't even see 9 wins. I do. I'm not going to be surprised if this team wins 10 games or 11 games. 12 right now being 3-3. I mean, you got to think about it. You would still be able to get, if I'm not mistaken, so that's a 12-5. So you'd be able to get 2 more losses. I think that might be harder to do. But 11-6, it wouldn't surprise me. That would give you a 3-game cushion to get 11-6. You could get 10-7. That gives you a 4-game cushion of losses. It's not going to surprise me if Mike McCarthy, and I don't care what anyone says, if Mike McCarthy gets this team after the bye week to 10, 11, or 12 games, y'all can tell me what y'all want to. Mike McCarthy's going to be re-signed. Mike McCarthy is going to be re-signed. And if Mike McCarthy gets to the playoffs and win a playoff game with this team, y'all can tell me anything y'all want to, but Mike McCarthy is going to be re-signed. Because I think that Jerry Jones, in the grand scheme of things, I think he understands. Are you not listening? He understands he's played a part in what's going on with Mike McCarthy. I mean, look at this. I made this list yesterday, but look at it. Is Mike McCarthy really walking dead? Well, he's at the mercy of the owner, GM/coach. He doesn't influence the trades or the signings. He's handicapped this year due to personnel. Yeah, he's in the last year of his contract. We know he has no contract, but it's already been said there's supposed to be a soft rebuild. Do we not realize he didn't even get to pick his coaching staff? I mean, he tried to pick his defensive coordinator. That was a disaster. But since then, I mean, who has he brought on? I mean, he didn't pick his own coaching staff. So at the end of the day, you got to understand, these are the facts about Mike McCarthy. He has no run game. His offensive line is terrible. He has one receiver on offense. His defense is riddled with injuries. His defense cannot stop the run. I don't even think this is a Mike Zimmer issue. I mean, when you look at the personnel of the Dallas Cowboys all the way around, with the exception of special teams, we better recognize something, that Mike McCarthy, I still say, for this team to even be 3-3, it's a miracle. What if they make the comeback against the Baltimore Ravens and they're 4-2? Do we not realize they almost came back against the Baltimore Ravens? And let's be honest, man, you know what? The 47 points that the Detroit Lions scored, the Detroit Lions, if no one doesn't understand, they went out and got a lot of draft picks and a lot of free agents over the last 3 years. They got a dynamic offensive coordinator. They got a swashbuckling coach. The Dallas Cowboys are riddled with injuries. It looked like they were getting better until last week, and they got riddled with more injuries. They already had injuries, but last week they were able to stop Pittsburgh, and people need to stop playing, acting like Pittsburgh was trash. They were not trash. They beat the Raiders. I'm not saying the Raiders are world beaters, but the Raiders got a couple of skins on the wall this year, and they're probably about to go into rebuild mode. But make no mistake about it, Pittsburgh, the Cowboys, if we're saying the Cowboys are terrible and we're almost putting them in the category with the Raiders, well, the Raiders didn't do what the Cowboys did. When you think about what's going on with this team, I do agree with Jerry Jones. It's not all Mike McCarthy. Some of this is just inexperience. Some of this is people kind of like, okay, what are we doing here? You know, we don't have an identity yet. I think they know their identity. They're just probably wondering, like, why are we not doing what we did last year? Yeah, the personnel is not as good, but you still have CD. You still have Dak. You still have Ferguson. You're just going to have to get creative. You're just going to have to get creative. And that's exactly what they did after the bye week last year. And so I'm excited about next Sunday, because I want to see what's Mike McCarthy going to do. Because I want everybody to put themselves in Mike McCarthy's shoes. You're turning on the television. Get rid of Mike McCarthy. He's 3-3 because he lost to the Detroit Lions. It's all Mike McCarthy. How would you feel all over social media? There are channels out there on YouTube, articles out there, people talking, the 5 best replacements for Mike McCarthy. Game 6, 3-3, and we're already talking about the replacements as if we can see the future, and we know beyond a shadow of a doubt there's no way the Cowboys win any more than 3 games. I'm going to call cap on that. I'm going to call cap on that. This team is going to be in the playoff hunt come the end of the season, and I can't wait till the bandwagoners start jumping on the bandwagon. All of the doubters, they're still going to be doubting, well, they got here. Wait a minute, hold on. You said we wouldn't even get here. I'm interested to see what this team looks like after the bye week. They're going to get back to Ron Bland. I'm not going to be surprised if we see Micah Parsons. I think we're going to finally see where Rico Dowdle is going to be the starter. I think we're going to see Dalvin Cook. Zeke is going to be relegated to the bench where he probably needs to be, unless it's some goal line play and you give him one chance and you're done. I think this team in the bye week this team is going to make adjustments, and we're about to see what this team really is about. But Mike McCarthy being fired after being 3-3. I'm sorry. People can say Jerry Jones is being rude all they want to. It's absolutely ridiculous. Man, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time that we post the next video on Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.